Hello, this is Dana, and I wanted to take a few minutes and talk about this bike ride that we did in July of 2017. What we did the Bitterroot 300. We started out in Saltese, Montana, and our first day we rode our bikes along a trail to the beginning of the route of the Hiawatha, approximately right here. And then we continued right, and we ended up the first day in Avery. The second day, we rode along the Milwaukee Road and actually rode on a highway most of the way, and I'll explain that later. And we ended up in St. Mary's. That was like a 50-mile trek. Going back to the first day, we rode about 35 to 40 miles that first day, mostly all downhill. Second day was on some rough trail, mostly flat. Third day, we got shuttled from St. Mary's over to Plummer. This highway here is very busy and dangerous for bicycles, so there's no good way to get there on a bicycle. So we had this hotel where we stayed at shuttle us, and they did it for free, and I'll talk about that in a little bit. So we got dropped off at Plummer, and we rode our bikes to Harrison, which was about a 20-mile bike ride, which was probably halfway downhill, which was a very nice scenic, probably the second best day of our bike ride after the one over here on the road of the Hiawatha. The next day we rode from Harrison 50 miles on paved bike path, the Coeur d'Alene Trail, all the way over here to Wallace, Idaho. And then after that, the next day we rode to Mullen, and then we rode 30 miles this day, which the first 15 was uphill. The first 7 or 8 was paved, and then when we got to Mullen, it became some county roads, and we did some forest service roads. I believe that was called the Northern Pacific Trail. And we got to Lookout Pass, and then we rode downhill for 15 miles back to our truck. So let's go and take a closer look at what we did here. Okay, so day one. Day one, we started out in Saltese, Montana. We stayed at the place called Mangold Enterprises. Here's the address, and here's the phone number. And what I'm doing here is kind of explain how we did this in case anybody's interested in trying to replicate this. It worked out pretty good, and I'll tell you what worked well and what might not have worked well. So, what worked well is Mangold Enterprises. They allow us to leave our vehicle there during the whole time of our bike trip. So we left our truck there, and then we rode our bikes for 4 nights, and we got back on the fifth day. So this was our start and our finish point. And we started this on July 9th, which was a Sunday, and that's the night we pulled in there and spent the night. The next day, we actually took off and started our bike trail. So we started out by riding to the east portal of the route of the Hiawatha. So we rode our bikes from Saltese, Montana to the beginning of the route of the Hiawatha. That was probably about 7 or 8 miles, and it was mostly uphill. That was kind of the first hour of our bike ride was pretty rough. Probably could have arranged for a shuttle to get there, but it was only 7 or 8 miles and it wasn't bad. So then we rode on the road of the Hiawatha, which was like 15 miles or so, and that's almost completely downhill. So that was very refreshing, very scenic, best bike path I've ever been on, and we've been on dozens and dozens, if not 100 or more, of bike trails. So that day we rode from Saltese, Montana to Avery, Idaho. Rode about 35 miles that day. We stayed at Sheffy's General Store and Motel in Avery, Idaho. And once again, here's the phone number. So after we ended up at the end of the Hiawatha, we continued riding probably about another 15 miles. So we rode about 7, 8 miles to get to the route of the Hiawatha. And then we rode 15 miles on the route of the Hiawatha. And then we rode about 15 more to get to Avery. That was a pretty easy day, mostly all downhill. The next day, like I said, we spent the night in Avery. This day, we rode from Avery to St. Mary's, Idaho. We stayed in St. Mary's. That day, we rode 50 miles, and we were going to ride on the Milwaukee road or bike trail or whatever you want to call it. We ended up going over and jumping on the highway and abandoning the path about 10 miles down the road. And so we rode 50 miles, 40 of it was on a highway, and it wasn't very busy until we got closer to St. Mary's, and it became pretty busy. And it was actually probably what you consider dangerous. That night we stayed at the Pines Motel, and for free, you have to prearrange this. They shuttled us for free to Plummer 12th. Although they do it for free, I did tip the driver $20. And it's a service they offer for people that stay at their hotel. It was very nice because it's 10 miles or so from St. Mary's to Plummer, and you do not want to ride a bike on that highway. It would be crazy. It's very narrow. People driving motorhomes, logging trucks are going up and down it, and there's no shoulder. Not advised. Take the free shuttle, stay at the hotel. Very reasonably priced, very nice people. So the next night we rode from Plummer to Harrison, Idaho, and that day was only 20 miles. And I'm very glad I worked in kind of a short day this day. This was 20 miles. It was downhill from Plummer to Harrison. Like I said, we got shuttled from St. Mary's to Plummer. And like I said, we got shuttled, and we stayed at a place called Lakeview Lodge. Very, very nice view of the lake. That night we rented a kayak and went kayaking on a two-man kayak. So that kind of got to use our arm muscles a little bit instead of our leg muscles. And once again, here's the phone number of the Lakeview Lodge. And the next night we rode from Harrison to Wallace, Idaho. That was all paved. This is the trail, the Coeur d'Alene, 49 miles. It was flat for the most part, slightly uphill and paved. We stopped at a restaurant on the way about lunchtime called the Snake Pit in Evanville, Idaho. Hope I'm pronouncing that right. I put in here, very disappointed. It was somewhat busy. We didn't really get waited on. We had to keep asking for menus. We had to ask if we could order our food. And it took forever to get our food. And when we got it, it wasn't very good. And I don't know if this was just an unusual event, but very disappointed. But however, it's a very unique place, and I recommend stopping and checking it out. Just don't expect super great service. Neat history of the place, but very disappointing. That evening in Wallace, we stayed at the Stardust Motel, and here's the address and phone number. And all these places we stayed, they allowed us to take our bikes into the rooms. We didn't have to worry about them getting stolen or anything. They all catered to bicyclers very well. Okay, so the last day of our bike ride was by far, and I mean by far, the most challenging day. So we rode from Wallace back to our truck in Saltese, Montana. And the problem was from Wallace, Idaho, to a place called Lookout Pass, which was like halfway, about 15 miles in between these two towns. It's uphill. And I assumed that since it was a railroad bed at one time, that the grade would be about 2%, but I was mistaken. We rode like 5 miles per hour. Oftentimes we'd have to get off and walk our bikes for like an hour. It was hot. The trail was very like 2-inch rock. You had to be careful where you were riding so you didn't wipe out. It was 15 miles of that uphill, and actually it was 30 miles of that, but the second 15 was downhill. Good thing about that was that we didn't have to worry about being out of breath by pedaling uphill. We just had to be careful not to wipe out on big chunks of rock. Our bikes are more hybrid bikes, not really mountain bikes. So anything rougher, we would have needed different bikes and different tires. It was fine if you take your time. We actually had to ride our brakes on our bikes going downhill. And when I say 15 miles, it might have been 10 miles, because the last 5 miles is actually paved going back to the hotel. Put a little note down here. If I did this again, we'd probably see about a shuttle between Mullen and Lookout Pass, only because although there's some nice views, it really was overly challenging for us, and we're not like super avid bicyclers. We'll do 30, 40 miles a day. When you throw in a couple of 50-mile days that we had in there, and then we had this day of like 15 miles up a steep hill, it became almost too much. From this point on, we're gonna jump in and watch some videos that we took along the way, and I might jump in here and there to talk about each of the days that we rode our bikes. Here we are.
Oh.
Oh.
We're taking a picture.
I was recording.
Let's go over
so
this.
we're getting ready to we're getting ready to go through that tunnel, and it's like over a mile long, and we're standing here and the cold air is blowing out of there. It's like about 70 or so, like not in the tunnel, but probably right here is like 50 degrees, I bet. It's almost chilly. So we got these awesome, and when we stopped at Moorhead at bite speed, Anna gave us some awesome jackets like this, which are coming in handy because we took them on the bike ride with us. Gotta get my helmet straight so I look awesome for the bike ride. So yeah, we're getting our lights, our helmets. You gotta wear helmets in this bike ride, and it's probably a good idea because if you fall off a cliff, you certainly don't want to hit your head. So, got anything to say to the camera? Jodie doesn't like the camera, so that's it for now. I'm recording. So, we just made it through the tunnel. St. Paul Pass, the Pass Tunnel. It was 8,000 feet long and cold. Probably like 50 degrees through there. No lights, so you have to have a light. Jodie. Then you get out, you are greeted by this waterfall over there. A bunch of people around here. And then we are continuing that direction back there. And we've only been on this trail for about 2 miles so far. So, alright, that's it for now. It's July 10th, 2017. Is today Monday?
Yeah.
Alright, it's Monday. We are riding. There's Jodie back there. So we're coming down the route of the Hiawatha, and it's kind of a downhill grade. So to get here, we rode from a town called Saltese, where our hotel was, and they're letting us keep our truck there for the whole week. And so it's Monday, and we are riding this big loop, and we left our truck there, and we'll come back to our truck on Friday. So we're going about 40 miles a day, 5 days, 200 miles about. And then, but to get to the top of this pass back there, the St. Paul Pass, we had to ride uphill from the hotel. It was probably about 8-9 miles, and it was more uphill than what I had liked. But now we're enjoying the downhill. So that's Jodie. I'm filming. Alright, that's enough for Jodie. And so there's the view over there. There's some Bitterroot mountains and some lady jogging. The lady was jogging through the tunnel with headphones on in the middle of the path. It's pretty narrow. So there's some pretty views over there. It's kind of a drop off, so helmets are required. Because if you fall down there, you certainly want to have a helmet on. So I'm going to pause that, and then I'll talk to you later. Here I am recording again. Just came through another tunnel back there. There's Jodie taking pictures. And it says sound horn and proceed. I'm not exactly sure. I'm not sure if cars use this or not. So, you know, as soon as you come out the tunnel, you get this big, nice, pretty view. And down there somewhere, there's a road going down there. And I think that there's actually a shuttle bus that will pick you up way at the other end of the tunnel or trail and bring you back. They must ride along there. So, Monday, July 11th. 10th?
Yeah.
It's July 10th. So, Jodie just had a incident with her basket.
With my bike.
She dropped her bicycle and it bent her wire. Whoa! I almost fell off the edge, and it bent her basket. So anyhow,
I bent it back.
She modified it. So we're going that way, and then it hugs the mountainside and goes all the way around, comes back around and around and around, and then we end up down there on that trestle going across. And I don't know if those at 1753, I don't know if that's elevation or what that is, but so that's where we're at. So that's kind of cool. This is really, really scenic. even if you're not a biker, you could do this trail, right, Jody?
Sure.
Yeah, because you go downhill, so you can ride 15 miles to the bottom of the hill, then they take a bus back to the top of the hill. But we are not for busing. We ride.
Take the long hard way up.
We take the long hard way up.
We get griped at because we're not in shape.
So if you're gonna do like what we do, you need to be in bicycling shape. And
you need to train.
Some of the team here hasn't been training as much as he or she should have been. And so one of the team members has been kind of griping about the ride.
I didn't gripe at all.
Panting, saying that they shouldn't have went on this ride. All kinds of negative thoughts and comments.
Here, eat a banana.
So, I gotta go and eat a banana. We are still riding along, and there's the other end of that tunnel that it's blocked off, so I don't know if it's caving in or what. But way down there's a trestle. We're gonna end up going down there, and then we're going through this tunnel. So this trail is pretty much slightly downgrade. I think that's like the 5th tunnel we've gone through. We haven't started crossing trestles yet, but I think there's 11 of them. So far, this route of the Hiawatha, I can see why it's ranked like one of the #1 trails in the entire country. And so far, I'm glad that we decided to come out here. And sometimes these the problems with these tunnels is that you're going downhill and then you can't see where you're going because you come out of the bright sunlight to the darkness, and then like you hit bright sunlight and then dark, and then you can't see where you're going, and then that one you're going downhill, and then it's there's a trestle, and I'm still filming. So we come out of that tunnel. So like you're either going through mountains or over valleys. So you come out of that tunnel and then immediately hit a trestle and go over this big hole in the ground. And I don't know if that's down below. I don't know if that's a road or if that's the trail. I think it might be the trail. So you can tell how the grade is slowly going down. So very awesome. Very recommended. It's worth the trip. Even if you're not a biker, you can do this because it's like downhill the whole way. There's a chipmunk. So, alright, that's it for now. Down there is Jody. She's looking over the edge. Hope she doesn't fall. We're on top of this trestle. Yeah, she makes me nervous. So, right down there is proof that if I ever come back from vacation and Jody fell off a cliff, that I did not push her because she likes to lean over things like this rink-a-dink cable and check things out. So, we're riding along this trestle, and there's a big valley-like type thing. And then down over there's another trestle that we'll come back on. So, we're making this big detour, this big loop around. I say loop, it's like a big horseshoe. And then the trails kind of like hugs the side of the mountains. They, kind of blew out the side of the mountain to make the railroad bed. And then we're just following along the edge of the mountains and zigzagging through the Bitterroot mountains here. And we'll end up like down over there. And for the past 3-4 miles, we can tell where we're coming down one side, and we'll loop around and we'll come back and we can see the trestles on the other side as we're riding past. So I thought there was only one that I was looking at, but apparently there's like 11 or 12. There's Jody, she's waiting for me. So I'm gonna cut it off and take off and catch up with her. I'm recording, so no cussing. Alright, so I just came from that direction, and earlier I was recording. It's hard for me to see in the sun, but way up there you can see people riding their bikes, and then when I was up there, I was recording this trestle from up there, and then there's a trestle we went across over there. So you can see when you ride the Hiawatha, you want to start on the, at the north, and then ride to the south, and then take the bus back to the top. We're not doing that. We're riding to the end of the Hiawatha, then we're connecting to the it continues, and we're gonna like keep going south, and then we're gonna go west, and then we're gonna go north, and then we're gonna ride back on the trail, the Coeur d'Alene, and then we're gonna jump on another trail called the Northern Pacific Trail, and then we're gonna ride all the way back around to the beginning where we started from. So eventually we'll have to ride up some more hills, but maybe not too much, because where we started from, we had to ride like 8 miles to get there. So not exactly sure. So I don't know how far that is from here to there. Maybe half a mile. But in order to keep the grade where the trains could go, they have to like gradually go around. So it's a gradual, like a 2% grade to keep going. So we're heading that direction, which is eventually going south. I don't know what direction I'm going right now. I think that is actually southwest. So, alright, that's it for now. Jodie's putting on sunblock. Got anything to say?
No.
No? She's just full. She has plenty to say when the video's not running, but...
What?
I said you have plenty to say when the video's not going. So, alright. I'm making another video because nothing matches this scenery that we're looking at. So we're on this trestle going across this big I don't know, canyon or valley or whatever. There's a river or a creek going down through there, and it smells like the fresh air, the pine smell is all through the air. Really cool. Goes over that side, and we just came from over there somewhere. In fact, if you look over there, there's a trestle up there. So the trail goes up there and makes a loop. And I don't know how high we are, but it's a long ways down. So if you're scared of heights, this kind of makes you nervous a little bit. If I stay in the middle of the bridge, it's not too bad. But when I get by the edge, my knees get a little weak. So it's not that I'm a chicken or anything. I just don't like heights. So, all right, Jodie looks bored. Gotta get going. I'm recording again. There's Jodie way over there. So we got assigned Avery, 8 miles, Wallace, Milwaukee Road Scenic Alternate Trail. We're not gonna go there. So we just got back. We just got done, not back. We just came from that way. So the Hiawatha ends right up there. And we just got done with the Hiawatha, and so now most people, there's buses back there that you can load in, and then they take you back to the top of the trail. We're not going to do that. We're going to keep going. We're going to Avery. That's where we're going to spend the night. And then the next night we're going to go to a town called St. Mary's and stay at a place called the Pines Motel. So it sounds like a pretty good place. So plus they shuttle us down a highway that's really dangerous, I guess. So for free, because I check all this stuff out ahead of time. Alright, so I'm going to cut this off and then go catch up with Jodie, who's like a mile at the bottom of the hill. Hopefully she's upright and not laying in the ditch. So I'm back again. We are on the road to Avery. We're kind of off the official bike path. We're on a road for 8 miles. And we just came through a tunnel back there. That's behind Jodie. And down here, that's got to be a 200-foot drop off. So there's no guardrails out west here in Montana. They're just and so the speed limit's like 70, and there's no signs telling you that there's a curve coming up. It's just like you go 70 or 80, whatever, and it's up to you to figure out if there's a curve or a drop off or whatever. So there's a road down there. I am not sure if we're gonna end up on that road or not. I'm not sure. I don't know where we're going. But the river goes down through there, and on the other side, I don't show the other side very often, but we're the mountains over there, and they got this carved out, and we're just like kind of hugging the side of the mountain, slowly going down grade and heading to Avery. And Jodie up there taking pictures of me, I guess. So, all right. So, once again, yeah, we're off the Hiawatha trail now. We made it. That's like, I don't know, 15 miles. We did 8 miles to get to it, so we've gone 23. We've gone about 25 miles so far, and we got about 8 more miles to go. So far, so good. So, we just came through that tunnel over there. There's Jodie, and then once again we got all this pretty scenery over there. So we are saying that the people that take the bus back are sissies, right?
You good?
Yeah, well, I'm saying they're sissies because they're missing out on all this stuff. And then I also noticed that Jodie is very nice to me when there's drop-offs and cliffs, and then when we get where there's no drop-offs and cliffs, she's not quite as nice to me. So
Right.
yeah, so I don't blame her any, because there's been more than once in our relationship and 30 years of marriage that if that cliff would have been handy at certain points, I might have tossed her over. My nose is gonna sunburn here a little bit, my face a little bit. It's yeah, it's a beautiful day, but still the sun's out shining. So, all right, there's somebody parked there. There's a hiking trail that goes up and over and then up and like way the heck up in there somewhere. So, all right, see you later. We see a waterfall. So it's coming down off this mountain, and it's not an impressive waterfall, but it's neat. There's moss growing side of the little hill, and so we just came from that way. There's Jodie. There's a drop off, and about 150, 200 feet down over there, there's a river running through there, and then there's a roadway down there, and then once again the waterfall. And behind me we have a tunnel that we're getting ready to go through. This one doesn't have a name.
33.
Oh, tunnel number 33. So I don't know if we've been through 32 tunnels or not. The number is going up because we went through number 30 back there a little bit ago. So this is a road where cars are driving on it, but we haven't seen not a car moving. We saw a car parked back there, people hiking.
Closets.
I don't know.
Doors to upstairs.
So we made it to Avery, Idaho. So we rode about 35, 40 miles today. Not exactly sure because we took a shortcut, I think. So this is this is Sheffy's general store and motel. So this is our accommodation. So there's came in the door. There's a little table, a little single bed. There's a double bed, TV. All this furniture looks like it's like that dresser. Looks like it's from 1900s. We got a little kitchen, which is cool. Microwave, like a little condo thing. Fridge, stove, air conditioner, and then out the window there's a mountain. If there's ever a landslide, this place is in bad shape. And then in here there's another bedroom, the bed, and then the bathroom is over there. Jodie might be in there, so I better not go in there. So, a refrigerator. Nobody left us any food, so pretty cool. Everything a person would want. And then you come around here to this living room, bedroom area, and that goes back to the other bathroom. I assume that door goes upstairs. I don't know. And I don't know where that door goes either, but I might open those up later to figure it out. So that's a tour of the hotel room. This is day 2, July 11th, 2017. Check it in. There's my riding companion, Jodie. She surprisingly hasn't been doing any critiquing today for some reason. Of course, she's not the one that had the flat tire. I am. So, yeah, I had a flat tire about 10 miles in the road. But I got that kind of fixed and we're back riding. We are riding on a highway. On the other side of that river is a trail. We started out today riding about 6 miles on the trail on the other side of the river. And it was kind of big rocks and kind of rough. And actually, I was really like struggling. And I was thinking to myself, this road sucks. And then I realized my tire was halfway flat. So it wasn't the road really, it was my tire. So we switched over and we found a little rink-a-dink bridge over that river. And then we got on the highway, then I realized my tire was flat. It wasn't all the way flat, almost all the way flat. So I pumped some air in it and now we're good. So right along this river and down over there, there's people fly fishing. So kind of cool. So we've been following rivers the entire time, either on the trail or this road that follows rivers or creeks. So the place we stayed at last night, called Sheffy's, the owners were super friendly. We ended up like sitting around talking to them for a couple hours last night in a thing called the fire pit. It's like half the town is like revolves around their business, I think. They kind of cater to everybody: hunters, snowmobiles, bicycles, rafters, ATVs, anything you can think of. So, and the place is for sale, but I guess winter up here is pretty bad. It doesn't get daylight till after 7 o'clock and it's dark by 3. So, because we're way up here in the northern part of Idaho. But you can probably see the scenery around us. Really awesome. So this highway we're on, we've only had, how many cars have passed us? Maybe 3. So about 20 miles, maybe 3 cars. So it hasn't been too bad. Plus it's paved so we can ride faster. So, anything else?
No.
Nothing else. So, alright. I am videotaping. We are riding down this highway and I heard splashing in the water and there's a moose over there.
It's pretty deep.
He's having fun. So I can't really
I think he just sat down.
oh, that's like what Jody would do. Just sit down in the middle of the...
Oh, now he's standing back up.
So he sees us, but he doesn't care about us. Probably wondering what we're doing.
Here comes a car.
Here comes a car. So we're gonna go off the road a little bit. I might just pause this so I don't get ran over. I'm back. I had to wait for that car to go by. So the moose is still over there. Trying to see what he's doing.
Dipping his head down in the
He's
water.
trying to drown himself. He must be suicidal.
He even puts his eyes under there.
I don't know what he's doing. I wonder if there's like seaweed or something in the bottom he's eating. But there comes another car down there, so I'm going to end the video so I don't get ran over. So that's the moose. This is day 3 of our bike ride. We are in Plummer. I think Plummer. We are at the trailhead of the Coeur d'Alene Trail. So it's like 70 miles, I think, to Mullen. And it's all paved. And the park is over there. There's a trailhead, I guess. There's a monument over here for the Coeur d'Alene tribe and veterans of different wars, I believe. I'm gonna go look at it. And it looks like it takes off and goes down through that underpass. There's some people riding. Jodie's in the restroom because we're just getting ready to take off. So we got shuttled here from our hotel in St. Mary's at the Pines Motel because the road between here and St. Mary's it's a highway, but it's super narrow and it's very busy. And you would probably get ran over and killed if you try to ride the bike on there. So it's not recommended to ride on that highway. So it's today is Wednesday, July 12th. We're right in the middle of the day. So today's actually going to be a short day, like a 20-mile bike ride. Kind of worked that in so that yesterday was a 50-mile bike ride, and we're kind of wore out from yesterday. So today's kind of even though it's 20 miles, we're kind of calling it almost like an off day, believe it or not. So because we're just like biking maniacs is what we are. So. Alright, that's it for today. Okay, we're on camera. We are on the trail of the Coeur d'Alene, and we started at Plummer, and we're going to State Park. It's 5 miles, I think, and so far it's been downhill all the way. So I've gone about 3 miles, and I have pedaled, but I haven't had to pedal at all. So there's Jodie behind us. Pretty view. Perfectly paved trail. I don't know what to say about it. What do you got to say about this?
Oh, it's beautiful.
It's like the trail. The trail.
The air, paved trail.
Yeah, the air smells piney and wonderful. It's paved, it's not bumpy, no cracks in the pavement. It's a downhill grade. This is like the most perfect trail I think I've been on. Almost perfect, right?
Yep.
Alright, so not much more to say, so I'll just cut it off here. I am videoing. There goes Jodie. We are on the top of this bridge, Lake
Chocolate.
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 Kind of like chocolate, but chocolate.
Not chocolate, but chocolate. Not the same thing. Not spelled the same, not pronounced the same. Chocolate, chocolate. So, this is the old, I guess, railroad bridge of, I don't know what, I think Union Pacific came across this. So, I think that's Lake Chocolate that way. And I think over on that side is Lake Coeur d'Alene. So, as a treat, I think I'll ride down this bumpy trail. You gonna go in front of me? So, there's two things about going down hills with Jodie. Either she has to get way ahead of me, because I'll run her over if she doesn't get way up there. There's a boat over there. Look at her go. So if I took off right now, I'd probably catch her before we get halfway across that part, because I don't know why she stopped. I don't know. So yeah, I'd catch her before she got halfway down that thing there. So the other thing I don't like about going, I don't know what she's doing. Something must have fell off her bike or something. I better hang up and go see what's going on. We made it to the bottom of the hill, and Jodie had to stop because she dropped our map. So it fell out of her basket. She's got this ugly little basket that elderly people might have. So coming down there across that bridge, there's like little bugs, and they're all stuck in my face. So we went across the bridge. Now we're on like this little berm thing, and I'll turn my camera around. So from here we're gonna follow this trail along the lake, up river or up lake, about 10 miles or so. And we're only going 20 miles today, about less than 20 miles, because we need an easy day. Yesterday we rode exactly 50 miles. And half of that was with my tire being half flat, because I had a slow leak. And when I put my spare tire on, it popped when I was airing it up. And a bunch of debris floated up there, and there's like weeds and stuff. It's almost like a little floating island. Cool. Anything to say to the camera? No. It's kind of interesting how you clam right up when I start recording.
It is, isn't it?
Yeah, no complaining. No talking about your butt hurting.
Camera shy.
I guess she's camera shy. Once the video stops, the shyness goes away. So, alright. I'm recording again. Now, Jodie makes fun of me when I say I'm recording, when I turn the recorder on. And the reason why I have to do that is because I don't want her dropping F-bombs and ruining my video for all my friends that not into, people that cuss. I'm gonna pause this for a second because there's some people coming. We might need to pull our knives out and kill them. So these people just went by, and you can't see that last guy, but he had American flags stapled to his head or something. But we stopped here because, like, way over there, I'm gonna try to zoom in, and it's hard for me to see, but the bridge that we were on earlier, or maybe half hour ago, or I don't know how long ago, is way over there. So we came across that, and then been riding all along the shore all the way around until we got here. And so the trail's totally paved. It's paved for 70 some miles all the way to Mullen, Idaho, and then from Mullen to Lookout Pass. When we hear the word pass and lookout, you have to think that maybe it's uphill. Lookout Pass. So I don't like that name. I'm sure it's pretty, but the name kind of sucks. Lookout Pass. So, but yeah, perfect scenery. So we rode the Hiawatha, which was a different type of scenery. Bigger mountains, tunnels, and trellises. And this here is this lake for 10 to 15 miles. And then you can see across it. And those kids that just rode past us, they're way over there now. So I kind of wish I would have videotaped them, because that was interesting. So, alright. Am I forgetting anything?
No.
Alright, so that's it for now. I'm making a video. This is not a bicycle. And Jodie's not pedaling. She's kind of pedaling, but she's not going very fast. Like, come on, go faster. You know, I got that bad shoulder and all, so we did a 2-man kayak rental so she could do I said she's the propeller and I'm the rudder, so she doesn't understand the difference. So over there, that I'm trying to see where we're at. Next to that green thing, that brown place, that's our hotel. Hopefully we make it back there before night, because I think bears come out at night. And then earlier today we come riding down from that way along the lake. I'm not sure if this is Lake Chocolate or Lake Coeur d'Alene, but behind us was the mouth of the Coeur d'Alene River that feeds into this, and there's a dam somewhere down there. So propeller.
Taking a break.
She's on break. I don't like sitting still. I feel safer when we're moving. So that is Harrison, Idaho. Population 350, I believe. And that hotel we're staying in is for sale for $1.4 million. Sounds like a lot of money, but I don't know. I could find Jodie an X-ray job around here. I could be the proprietor of the hotel.
Summer, but he wants the winter up here.
Nobody wants to live here in the winter time, I guess. So, yeah, right now this is like gorgeous, but come about January 15th, I'm sure it probably isn't so gorgeous. What?
Right, beginning of December.
Beginning of December is bad, I guess, too, according to Weather Channel, Jodie. So, we start climbing up some streets in that town, and I wasn't quite feeling it.
It was hot.
It was hot, and our legs are kind of just burned out. We've ridden 100 miles the last couple days, 50 miles yesterday. So kayaking isn't too bad because we're using our arms and shoulders rather than our legs. But I got my second win this afternoon, so.
I didn't.
But I'm feeling pretty energetic, even though my paddle's not in the water. But I can't videotape and paddle at the same time, so. So I better cut this short and start to paddle because at this pace we're not going to make it back there by time for supper. So until later, this is the kayaking portion of our trip. We are pedaling bicycles. And so we've gone about 10 miles today, and most of the scenery's been like this over here to my right. Kind of a backwater, flooded type thing with water lilies on this berm type thing. There's some houses up and around. There's some houses over there on the other side. We are riding along the Coeur River, I believe. It's over to the left, over that way, through the trees. So we just came out of that swampy area. Looks like we're going past a campground. And so we're leaving kind of a swampy bog area. And looks like we're entering some hills now. And some foresty type areas. So today is Thursday. Is it July 13th or 12th? So Monday was the 10th. Tuesday, 11th. Wednesday was the 12th. So Thursday is the 13th. So today must be July 13th. And this is day 4 of our bike riding. We got 50 miles approximately to go today. I'll call it 49.9 so it doesn't sound as bad. But it's all paved, all flat, and we got pretty scenery. And then over here we have a dilapidated house, just kind of cool. And oh, we got some people with food up here. I am making a video. Of course, that means no cussing by Jodie. So, about 5 minutes ago, I'm riding along, and Jodie's a little bit behind me, and I looked up, and coming off out of the riverbank a little bit, there's this huge moose, and I probably came about 10-15 feet from running into him, and he saw me, and I saw him, and he turned around and gave me a dirty look and took off running, splashing through the water. And before I could get my camera out, he was gone. Jodie saw him running from me, so didn't get a chance to get a video of him. But he was a pretty good sized one. I'm glad he decided to run the other direction and not at me, because that would have been a close call. There's people, so I gotta pause this. We are in Wallace, Idaho, climbing stairs. So we just climbed up all those stairs. Now we're climbing these stairs. I'm out of breath. We just had riding our bikes 52 miles. Now we're climbing stairs. So we climb these stairs. There's Jodie. It takes us to this street. And then you can climb these stairs to the next street.
I want to see what's up here.
Alright, you go ahead and go.
I want you to go with me.
I'm not going up those.
Come on.
I'm not going up those stairs.
It's not that that bad.
Yeah, they are.
You can rest in between.
You went up there.
No, 'cause
I'll meet you.
No, I'm not walking up here by myself. Come up here.
I'm not going up there.
You can do it.
I'm not going up there. I'm going down this street.
Come on. There's probably a good view up here.
All right, I gotta hang out and go up these stairs. We are on day 5 of our bike ride. Jodie's over there eating all the sweetie fish. She eats 1 bag a day if she needs it or not. So we are on the Trail of the Coeur d'Alene. Turn back on here. So the Trail of the Coeur d'Alene came up that way through this canyon, and it goes up this way. We left Wallace about 4 miles ago, and it's been uphill all the way. So we're taking a little bit of a break. We got about 2-3 more miles to get to Mullen. So she's saying thank God, but we got 2 miles to get to Mullen, and then we start going uphill. And then we go to Lookout Pass, which is 6 more miles. So it's about 8 miles to Lookout Pass. And then from there we go to Saltese, Montana, which should be downhill. So we got 30 miles today, 15 uphill, and 15 downhill. So, hello! Friendly people. So we're right along Interstate 90 right now. There's not much room through this pass, or whatever you want to call it, valley, canyon. There's the river, interstate, and this bike path, which used to be the Union Pacific Railroad. So that's it for now.
Oh, good. I'm gonna cuss.
Don't cuss. You know you're not supposed to cuss on the video. So we have been riding approximately about 15 miles today, and down in that hole down there, I think that might be Mullen maybe. It's hard to see in the sunlight, but we've been riding up the Northern Pacific Trail.
I wouldn't call it a trail.
She wouldn't call it a trail. A lot of switchbacks back and forth.
Call it a dirt road.
Interstate 90 is down there, and we were next to Interstate 90 at one point, so we really have climbed. So yeah, we're on the Northern Pacific Trail. It's Friday. Is today the 14th? It might be the 14th. We don't know. And it's been uphill, 5 miles per hour. Sometimes walking. A little tougher than what I anticipated and what I read. But we're not like crazy, goofy bikers. So we still have a mile to go till we get over the pass, and then we're gonna go downhill over Lookout Pass. So when you hear the word pass, that means you are riding uphill to it and downhill after it, and semis are flying by. There's some type of rest area or something out there. There's some brown signs way down there, but I don't know what it says. So I'm running out of memory on my card, so need to cut this off. All right, here we are. We just crossed Lookout Pass, and we rode uphill for 15 miles, and about 8 of it was on this type of road. Kick some rocks around over there so the camera can see the rocks.
You can see the rocks.
All right. So this is like a gravel. It's not easy to pedal on. There's like big rocks. Like
There's something dead over there.
there's some. Yeah, I stopped to film right where there was a dead animal, so it smells. Hopefully it's not it's probably the last bikers that tried coming through here. So way over that way is the interstate. So we went over Lookout Pass. We just crossed the Continental Divide from Idaho. We're in Montana now, and the scenery is really awesome. The problem is we're going downhill. It's like a 3 or 4% grade, and we have to like ride our brakes going down this road, and this is like a drop off over there. So like if this was a car drive, it'd be like a white knuckle drive, wouldn't it?
It's a white knuckle drive now.
Yeah, it's
If you wipe out and go off the edge, you're in trouble.
yeah, so we're kind of taking it slow, and Jodie's not been a happy camper today, and I think she said, quote, this is the last time I'm going on a bike trip. Is that what you said?
Yeah.
Yeah, she's
Not
not.
any more mountain bike trips.
No more mountain bike trips. But you don't get the views without the mountains. So this is really great. So this is the Northern Pacific Rail Trail. It's better suited for snowmobiles and ATVs than bicycles, but it's also open for bicycles. And we're about 14 miles from our truck, so that'd be a happy moment. So this video has gone almost 2 minutes, so I'll stop it right about now. We are on the trail. We're on Interstate 90. We're about 5 miles from our dead. There's a there's a dead moose. Oh. I'm gonna throw up, but that's that stinks bad. There's Jodie. Did you smell that thing? Oh my god, that poor little thing. I guess it's a poor big. What? Oh, that was I've still got a gag. But that poor thing. Oh, I didn't know it stunk so bad. I gotta go. We are pedaling. We are just coming off the trail, and we are coming underneath Interstate 90, and we are almost to our truck. So, gone, I don't know how far, 190 some miles. Maybe we did 200 miles. I gotta figure it out. Maybe we're like 4 miles short of 200. So where it says hotel up there, that is where our truck is. There's Jodie going like a bat out of hell. The whole 5 days she's like half mile behind me, and then we get like a half mile from our truck. She goes like a bat out of hell. Look at her go, just like a homing pigeon, you know. Look at her go. So there's our truck. Here's our hotel. Okay, I hope you've enjoyed those videos, and I apologize for not knowing my facts and figures for half the things I was talking about, but you know, I'm from Illinois originally, and moved to Idaho. I'm not familiar with the area. I'm not familiar with the names of anything. You know, although I did a lot of research, I was a little bit surprised how easy you forget things, and you're out on the trail and you really don't have access to the internet. There's not much cell service, so I had to guess of by memory of what I was doing and where I was at and everything else. And I just noticed something. What I was going to do is show some websites that I had used to research my trip, and totally something that totally has just is crazy here. I go to the Rails to Trails website, and I'm on that page right now, and I am just totally amazed because this is my picture and this is my bike from the summer of 2017. I have no idea. I did not Photoshop this. This is the Rails to Trails website, and I just brought this up like 2 minutes ago to share some websites that I use, and there is my bike. And I was drinking a Diet Mountain Dew that day because I found a store that sold them, and so I bought a Diet Mountain Dew, and yeah, there's my bike. That's crazy. I need to figure that more about that later, but let's keep going here. So this Rails to Trails, traillink.com, Rail to Hiawatha, very useful. And then here's, I think, the official um, website is right here. And then another site is Friends of the Coeur d'Alene, and they have information about the Bitterroot 300 route, 300 kilometers, and they have an itinerary here, And beginning of the video, I shared my itinerary. This shows like 60 miles a day. I'm not a 60 mile a day person. I'm more like a 35 to 40 mile per day person. So that's what we did. And some of the hotels we stayed at, Mangold's General Store, very nice people. They let us leave our truck there for the whole week. They kind of kept an eye on it. When we got back to the hotel, we offered uh, tip them for keeping an eye on our truck, and they would not accept that money for nothing. I tried leaving it on the counter, and the lady said, "Oh no, no, this is what we do." Very, very nice. It's an old-fashioned hotel, but I'd stay there again in a heartbeat. The second night we stayed at Sheffy's, and it's in Avery, and Sheffy's is for sale, so you can find that. The third night we stayed at the Pines Hotel. Very nice place, very nice people. This is the place that will shuttle you, Plummer, from St. Mary's, because you don't want to drive on that highway. And then from Plummer, we rode our bikes to Harrison. We stayed at the Lakeview Lodge. It's the Coeur d'Alene's best kept secret, and they tout themselves as the best sunset in the West. Then we rode from Harrison to Wallace, and there we stayed at the Stardust Hotel, which was a nice hotel, and I didn't see that nice lady, but they let us take our bikes in the rooms like all the hotels. Very, very friendly people, and I would stay at any of these places again. And I will share the contact information on a link down below so people can find everything they need. So I hope you find this helpful and interesting. If not, sorry I wasted an hour of your time. So thank you.